money move to Old Trafford. The friendly was part of that deal, and it wasn't long before the youngster was creating problems for the Torquay defence on the left wing. On this occasion, Brian McClare should have done better after an inch-perfect cross. Alex Ferguson's team didn't have it all their own way as Torquay put their 4th division troubles to one side. New boy Denny Mundy came closest to scoring when Jim Leighton was left stranded from this chip. In the second half, the visitors secured their narrow victory when Mike Duxbury latched onto Mark Hughes' superbly volleyed through ball and gave Kenny Vasey no chance with a finely judged shot. But on a night when the final score hardly mattered, supporters of both sides sat side by side and made it a game to remember, particularly for the teenager who made it possible.
It was a good feeling. It's good to see a good crowd back there again. I think they deserve it. There's a lot of new lads since I last left, but I mean, I've still got a few friends down here, and it was good to see them again.
Just one win this season, Knowles has decided to make way for a fresh face and says it may be time to get out of football altogether. Martin Palethorpe reports.
By the end of his first season in charge, Cyril Knowles had taken a side which narrowly escaped relegation from the Football League to one pressing for promotion. Although they missed out in this playoff match against Swansea, the scene was set, and success followed the Gulls right up to last season's Sherpa Van Trophy final at Wembley. But this season it all started to go wrong. 2 points off the bottom of the league, the rumours started. And although the club was denying any chance of resignation this morning, Knowles himself was explaining he made up his mind last week, staying on for last Saturday's defeat against Burnley, but turning down a final plea from the club at the weekend. He says despite pushing and prodding, he can no longer get what he wants from his young squad and that a new face may help them get over their sapped morale. But the real problem seems to be United's inability, despite having money available, to attract quality players to Plainmoor.
I think probably what the problem has been, I think we've had so much success. You know, the 2 years I've been here, we should have got promotion. We've been to Wembley. And people want success and success. And they think you can just get on a phone and bring people along. And you can't do that, you know. You can try. I mean, we're actually forking out better wages than what they probably are in the third and probably in some cases in the second. You know, but it's just that people will not come, pros will not come down. You know, it's very, very hard to persuade anybody to come down here.
What about your own future? Is it now time to say, well, I've had it with football?
I feel like that at the moment, really, to be honest with you, because I've probably taken on the 2 hardest jobs in the last 6 years in football, here and at Darlington. And like I got promotion at Darlington, but I get a feeling inside that, you know, I'd love to go to the top. Whether I do, I don't know, but I just get that feeling that my time's passed. I am actually trying to look into something else now, into some other kind of business, because I just get that feeling that at this level, you get the feeling sometimes that it's dying, you know. And only the cream's going to last.
Sad day for
Dave Smith, the manager. That's the pictures from today. Mark Tyler had a chat with him this morning. Smith is now manager at Plainmoor. Obviously the man in the hot seat. Very difficult job.
Everybody says, everybody's full of despondency at the moment and very, very pessimistic, but I think you've got to be optimistic in life. And we've got to be optimistic at this club. Things may not change for a while, but we'll be starting tomorrow on the training field, just trying to instill good habits, better habits. Maybe they've lost a little bit of the spark, as we say, and we're just trying to recover some of that again.
There we are, Dave Smith, the new manager.
For promotion candidates, Exeter City. They lost 1-0 at Rochdale and player coach Clive Whitehead was sent off. Better news, though, from Plainmoor, where Torquay United eased their problems with an exciting win over the bottom club, Hartlepool. Some great goals coming up. Watch out, too, for some poor defending.
Torquay's problems at the back were highlighted early on. A long ball forward wasn't cleared properly, and Denny Mundy's header fell straight into the path of Joe Allen. Fortunately for United, Ken Vasey pulled off a great save. Torquay took the lead after 11 minutes. Dean Edwards latched onto a pass from Paul Smith, and his cross was tucked home by Sean Joyce. But 5 minutes later, Hartlepool were level. Paul Dalton given too much room on the left, and when Don Hutchinson missed the ball completely, Allen was in the right place to smash an unstoppable shot past helpless Vasey. Another defensive lapse contributed to the visitors' second goal. Hutchinson made up for his earlier embarrassment by chipping the ball over the advancing keeper. On the stroke of half-time, it was level again. Loram, Edwards and Joyce were all involved before Carl Airy applied the finishing touch. After the break, Torquay gradually took control. They regained their one-goal advantage after more determined play from Dean Edwards. His overhead kick fumbled by Kevin Dearden, and it was inspirational Sean Joyce who followed up to score his second of the game. Then the moment that Torquay fans will remember for a long time. Again, it was Edwards who provided the cross, and when the ball eventually fell for Paul Smith, he made no mistake. Hartlepool made it 4-3 during injury time, Allen scoring his second after Rob McKinnon's shot was only parried by Vasey. But there was no time for more pressure on the Torquay goal, and the relief in the home dressing room after the game was plain to see. 2 wins out of 3 under new manager Dave Smith, a statistic that's taken United out of immediate danger at the bottom of the table. But beneath all the smiles, the realisation that the league's bottom club had still managed to score 3 times at Plainmoor.
Like before, first club, Torquay United, were home to the 92nd Hartlepool United. The attendance was 2,108, producing receipts of just £4,500. From the southwest, Mark Tyler reports.
Think of Torquay and you'll probably conjure up images of summer holidays and faulty towers. But this is Plainmoor, capacity just 5,000, the home of Torquay United and the venue for the bottom of the table showdown with Bobby Moncur's Hartlepool. Like so many lower division clubs, expenditure here often surpasses income. Every penny has to be spent wisely and facilities are predictably basic. New manager Dave Smith has to make do with a porter cabin office. So while the top clubs spend millions on new players, how much is in the Torquay kitty?
I ain't going to tell you. No, not a lot, not a lot. I think Chairman always, I think Lou Pope's keeping a bit under the carpet for me, I think, you know. Might be 10,000 somewhere for a player.
Yes, you obviously got to watch the finances and, you know, where we are. You know, I suppose like Old Trafford and White Hart Lane, they'll probably make more in pies than we do in gate money, but that's, you know, that's the position we're in. There's no use making excuses for it. You've got to go on with the job.
With kick-off less than an hour away, supporters begin arriving for the big game. The Hartlepool team coach has completed the final leg of the long journey from the northeast. Last season, 20,000 people from the West Country followed Torquay to the Sherpavan Trophy final at Wembley. Only a fraction of them come every week. The new enclosure for away supporters cost £50,000. Tonight, it'll be used by just a handful of dedicated Hartlepool fans. But don't they get fed up?
Yeah, well, it is depressing, but it's a long way to come. We've made a little mini holiday of it. It's like our 4th day here, and we're on the way home straight after the match. So we haven't had a holiday this year. This is our holiday, and with our first goal and first 3 points tonight away from home, we'll be happy as sandpipers.
There are only a dozen of you, but I know you make a lot of noise.
Oh, we'll make a noise. Yeah!
Torquay took the lead after 11 minutes. Dean Edwards latched onto a pass from Paul Smith, and his cross was tucked home by Sean Joyce. Five minutes later, Hartlepool were level. Paul Dalton was given far too much room on the left, and when Don Hutchinson missed the ball completely, Allen was in the right place to smash an unstoppable shot past helpless Vasey. Another defensive lapse contributed to the visitors' second goal. Hutchinson made up for his earlier embarrassment by chipping the ball over the advancing keeper. On the stroke of half-time, it was level again. Loram, Edwards and Joyce were all involved before Carl Airy applied the finishing touch. After the break, Torquay gradually took control. They regained their one-goal advantage after more determined play from Edwards. His overhead kick fell into the 6-yard box. Kevin Dearden fumbled, and it was the inspirational Sean Joyce who followed up to score his second of the game. Then the goal that would have been a credit to the First Division. Again, it was Edwards who provided the cross, and when the ball eventually fell for Paul Smith, he made no mistake. Hartlepool made it 4-3 during injury time, Allen scoring his second after Rob McKinnon's shot was only parried by Vasey.
Just one of these games, I think there was a lot of passion here. We actually got 2,100 people tonight, and that's about 300 more than we got. So we're on the way up.
Torquay can sell.
Anchored to the bottom of the Football League, hardly able to score, their manager Cyril Knowles resigned. But now, under new boss Dave Smith, they're a team reborn. They've taken 11 points from their last 6 games and scored 12 goals, and so moved clear of the strugglers.
I think it's the players themselves. I think it's up to them. No, I think they were down. I think losing 8 matches doesn't give a great feeling of confidence. I think I've just breezed in and made them believe in themselves a little bit, and I think it's up to the players. I think they've done it. They've been tremendous, really. They've done everything that I've asked for them, of them.
Did you expect such a tremendously quick result as this?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yeah, I could see that there was things that could be done, and I think you always get a response. I think it's a new face and new ideas and just fresh approach to things, and it happens.
But he's changed the style of play too. The long ball game is back, the quick direct ball into the heart of the opposition defence, and that's led to the flowering of Carl Airey. 1 goal under Knowles, a goal a game under Smith, 6 in all. It's clearly a style he appreciates.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's a lot more balls coming into the box now. You know, 5-6 games ago, there maybe like you get 3 chances, but games now we're getting 5 and 6 chances apiece.
It's a mark of the new optimism at Torquay that Smith talks in all seriousness of promotion. Supporters may simply be pleased that for the moment at least, the crisis seems to be over.
Under Dave Smith. But for one Torquay player, it was also a day for celebration.
Dave Smith has certainly brought a much-needed change in attitude in his short time at Playmore, and it looked as if the Siderman's magic touch would continue on Saturday as Torquay dominated Carlisle for most of a frenzied first half. John Matthews is clearly enjoying his spell at Playmore under his old boss. United pressure ending here with a shot just wide from the former gunner. It was a special day too for Torquay striker Carl Airey, chasing a record-breaking 7th goal in as many games. It came early in the second half when Airey was on hand to head home Matthews' pinpoint corner, equalling Sammy Collins' feat back in 1935. But Torquay's expected victory didn't materialise. Carlisle hit back with the perfect breakaway goal, a classic long ball from the talented Saddington, poked home by the equally impressive Richard Sendell. And it was Sendell who snatched the Cumbrians' winner. Again, a superb free kick, and that header a sign of real class. It could have been worse if John Halpin had finished off this sensational run with a somewhat harder shot. But it's still United's first home defeat under the Smith regime, and a somewhat mixed day for striker Carl Airey.
Well, obviously, I mean, every goal scorer needs luck, and I've had a bit come my way these last 7 and 8 games.
It's a great shame, obviously, that you happened to be on the losing side, as it turned out, wasn't it?
That's it. I mean, lads are really disappointed. All matches, you know, you always look for 3 points, and at 1-0 we thought we'd done enough, but it wasn't to be.
So well done to Carl Airey.
Setting out, hopefully, for another great run.
And Golly, and Rains, and a goal! Here's Dawson. Oh, and driven in! And number 11, Matthew Hanlon, followed that in.
After Barry Williams and Sutton United became national news by beating Coventry in last season's 3rd round, Norwich City performed a clinical exercise in deflation in the 4th.
Flex through. Will it be a hat-trick for Robert Fleck? Will it be number 6 for Norwich City? The answer to both is yes.
By the end, it was 8-0. Yet Sutton never lost their dignity or their sense of sportsmanship, even in that defeat. They earned their standing ovation at the end for all the best reasons. Today, the boardroom at Gander Green Lane bears witness to the friends Sutton made at Norwich, and to the good impression they made on their bank balance at the end of the run. Now the club have a new manager, Keith Blunt, here on the left, greeting Dave Smith, his opposite number from Torquay. Their strip remains the familiar yellow.
Dawson, handball, but no point in dwelling there at all. And that's a good ball from Hanlon. And the shot well saved by Vesey was from Massey. Edwards. Keeper made a quick decision there, and he may have made the wrong one. Kicked off the line by Dawson from Airy. Well, Sullivan came, nicked the ball away, but it only went as far as Airy, and Airy's shot was very deliberate, but Dawson was there to clear. Cleared by Holmes. Header back by Rains, then a flick from Hawkins. Hawkins again. It was Davis. This is all very untidy. All going from side to side, but now Massey. McKinnon, beautiful! You won't see a better cross, nor a better header in the first round of the FA Cup. That was superbly done, and it's 1-0 to Sutton United. After a very untidy passage of play, Stuart Massey got away, whipped in the low cross, and Paul McKinnon's header gave him his 9th goal of the season. Edwards, to Zell. Irons made a good run into the box here. He's won a corner and he deserved maybe more. It was a very good run indeed, and when he burst between the two defenders, it threatened all kinds of trouble for Sutton. But Irons suddenly, with that tricky jinking sidestep of his, has started to create a few doubts in the minds of the Sutton defenders on this right flank. This time he hits the corner very deep and long towards Azell. Azell's shot! And it is 1-1. And John Azell has put the 4th Division side on terms. The corner hit very, very deep. Azell controlled it and hit it well back across Sullivan, and that's his first goal for 18 months.
Replay on Wednesday evening at Plainmoor. Now, the last league team to visit Macclesfield in the FA Cup were Rotherham.
They know that there's a second-round trip to Basingstoke Town awaiting the winners, perhaps heightening hopes of qualifying for round 3. Well, Torquay, they got to Wembley last year as Sherpa Van Trophy finalists. Sutton, of course, from the GM Vauxhall Conference, made it to the 4th round of the FA Cup, cherishing the memory of that victory over Coventry. Torquay against Sutton, then. Commentator at Plainmoor is John Motson.
Paul McKinnon has one of the outstanding records in non-league football. His goal on Saturday was his 245th for Sutton United in 438 appearances for the club. While John Uzell's equaliser for Torquay was his first goal for the club since he joined them from Plymouth, for whom he played in an FA Cup semi-final against Watford in 1984. Well, Uzell keeps the number 10 shirt, but he switches to centre-back tonight as Dave Smith shuffles his side around. Number 4, Matt Elliott, who ironically grew up near Sutton, will play as a striker in place of the injured top scorer Carl Airy. Number 5, Andy Davis, switches from sweeper to right back. And at number 9, Paul Hirons comes in to play on the left, where he caused some damage as a substitute on Saturday. Now, Sutton have only 4 survivors from the team that beat Coventry, but they include the 2 goal scorers. Number 4, Tony Raines, the captain, now playing in central defence, and number 7, Matthew Hanlon, now in a more central midfield role. Barry Williams' successor as manager is Keith Blunt, who knows Devon pretty well. He had a spell at Plymouth. And so too did the Torquay manager, Dave Smith, in the cap there. He took over from Cyril Knowles 6 weeks ago, and he's one of the game's real characters. On his right there, Sean Hasselgrave, the assistant manager. The referee is Brian Stevens from Stonehouse in Gloucestershire, and it's Sutton tonight in all white, Torquay United in yellow shirts, playing from left to right. Number 5 there is 17-year-old Andy Davis. That was Elliott, who's playing up front in the number 4 shirt. Now Holmes. And Uzell feeds the first one in for Elliott. And already an excursion there by Nicky Sullivan. In fact, both the goalkeepers here tonight, former Arsenal apprentices. Nicky Sullivan of Sutton, and at the other end, Kenny Vasey of Torquay. Elliott's there. Oh, how did Sullivan keep that out? It's going to be a corner, but it looked a very good save from here. Corner to Torquay. And Elliott and Uzel in together there. Davis. Now, Elliott's been flicking those on, and Sullivan got a right hand out there to make an excellent stop. This is Loram for Torquay. Elliott. Rains coming forward for Sutton, and they have to get back now. Dobinson is the player covering. Elliott on Smith, and punched away by Sullivan. Lloyd facing the kicker with Elliott just behind him. And Sutton defending for all they're worth. Uzel is up there as well. All very tight in that penalty area. Lloyd, Elliott, oh, and Sullivan, a busy man in that 6-yard box, mostly from corners at the moment. It's a very, very promising run from the back by Holmes. Ikoku. Smith, Morrison, now Elliott, Loram, turning it, oh, and Smith didn't quite make it. The number 7 really turned this in well with his left foot, little backspin on that, and it ran on a bit past the goalkeeper. Irons. Massey, Ikoku, and McKinnon's in a good position in the middle, and there's McKinnon, and he couldn't quite get there. Retrieved by John Hawkins. Sutton still have a chance here. And Ikoku, Hanlon. And there's Lloyd, Massey. And away by Davis, but Paul McKinnon, who scored with a deft diving header on Saturday, wasn't far away from making a similar impression there. It was Efan Ikoku who supplied the cross, and how agonisingly close he was. Flicked on by Joyce, Loram's in there, and Elliott's there. Good save by Sullivan. Goal kick, says the referee. Must have come back off Elliott. And the performance of Nicky Sullivan in this first half, one of the reasons why Sutton have kept Torquay out. He's been very alert, and as Loram jostled with Dobinson here, the ball come off their backs, I think. Elliott came in for the strike, and as the goalkeeper saved, it went back off Elliott for a goal kick. Now it's a good-looking ball, it's Massey. And 2 to his left, unmarked here. What a pity from Sutton's point of view that Massey couldn't have put more weight on that cross. He had Paul McKinnon and little John Hawkins absolutely in the clear. No defenders near them. Massey. Now Ikoku. McKinnon just inside him. Hawkins coming up on the left as well, tackled by Uzel. Hanlon. Gates. Crossed by Massey, Ikoku, and it was finally Matthew Hanlon who got his foot to it. Loram. Smith in the middle. Oh, it was a taller player might have got to it, but it whizzed over the head of Jimmy Smith. Foul, Rogers on Joyce. And there's Lloyd. Oh, he's poked it in. Phil Lloyd, the central defender, who's gone forward for all the corners and free kicks, makes it pay off on 38 minutes. It was swung in by Mark Loram. Lloyd came in first and then just jabbed a foot out, and he turned it past Nicky Sullivan. 1-0 to the 4th Division side. And so Sutton, who defended stoutly for so long, but had to survive one or two scares from set plays, finally Phil Lloyd just got his right foot wrapped round the ball and into the corner. Smith is running on here dangerously. It's going to be a corner off Hemsley. Hirons will take the corner. Hanlon half away. Sutton coming out a bit. This is Loram. Swings it in. And Sullivan challenged, and Smith got in, and it's 2. 3 minutes before half-time, and 20 years old Jimmy Smith, on his birthday, gets number 2 for Torquay. And Loram with a very good chip ball with his left foot. Hirons got a touch, and there's Jimmy Smith just nicking in front of Nicky Sullivan. Forgive the pun, but it was just a matter of him getting up in front of the keeper, as you'll see from this. And it's 2-0 to Torquay. So Dave Smith's team selection seems to have paid off, because his namesake, Jimmy, having been restored to the side, has got the second goal. Hanlon for Sutton. Ikoku could get one back. Good save by Vasey. Well, plenty of action here at the end of the half. Kenny Vasey called upon to make his first save from Efan Ikoku. Not easy, that, for a goalkeeper who's been out of the action for almost 45 minutes. He's been virtually a spectator, Kenny Vasey. But that was an important stop, because if Sutton had got back into the game immediately, it might have changed things as they approach half-time. Here's Jimmy Smith. And over on the far side, it's Hirons taking on Dobinson. Support from Davis there. He was blocked by Hawkins. Half out by Rains. Now Dobinson. Elliott's presence again, the big number 4, causing Sutton to cover up there rather hurriedly. That's his flick, and here's Smith, and it's 3. And 5 minutes into the second half, little Jimmy Smith gets his second and Torquay's third.